Hey, what's up, people? Are we live? What's going on? All right. Let people stroll on in here. What's going on? Impromptu live. I got a couple announcements to make. Yo! I'll give you guys like 30 seconds. It's Friday. I'm shipping up to Boston. I'm going to Boston now, man. I got to be in. Celtics are winning the championship tonight. I feel like that's been forgotten in all this. It's awesome. Karen reads everything, but like the Boston Celtics are going to win their 18th championship tonight. It's going to be awesome. If we don't win it tonight, we'll just win it Monday. It's no biggie. Like we're winning. It's over. It's done. Nobody comes back from 3-0. It's over. It's done. But that's not the announcement I have. I'm just going to let people come in here. I just want to talk about a couple things because I'm driving and it's easy to do this when I'm driving. But yeah, dude. So yeah, like they're got to win tonight. Like they're 1-point favorites. Like nobody has ever come back from 3-0. It's not happening. Not this team. Like, dude, this Celtics team is historically good. They're not just like, they're not some chump team. They're not some like fake championship team. This is the best, like one of the greatest teams in NBA history. Right? Hold on. Sorry. This is one of the greatest teams in NBA history. They're winning by 30. I mean, how many games did they win this year by 30 points? Too many to count. It is one of the greatest teams ever assembled, thanks to Danny Ainge and Brad Stevens getting Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I mean, think how differently those drafts could have gone if you got Markelle Fultz and Ben Simmons. Like, then you're the Sixers. Then where you at? Like unbelievable what they're going to do. And then they added Porzingis, which he's awesome. They're like a cheat code when he plays. But when they have Jrue Holiday, he's just so much better than Marcus Smart, right? He's just so much better than Marcus Smart, period. So that's the difference in the teams this year. And Derek White is just, like I said before, teach your kids to play ball like Derek White, and there will be a spot for them on every team, right? He's tall. Kid's not going to be 6'6" like Derek White or whatever tall he is and be able to shoot threes like him. But you know what I mean? Hustle, always play your best, play great defense, etc. Let's sweep this team. Let's get this shit over with, etc. Okay, cool. But if anybody's out in Boston tonight, maybe I'll see you around and about. But it's going to be awesome, man. It's going to be awesome. So I know we have some new Dallas Turtle Riders. I'm really sorry about it. You guys, good for you. I'm proud of you. You beat the odds getting here. You're a 5 seed. You had to win every series on the road. So that's cool. And honestly, you have Luka and you have Kyrie. And then you got your shit after that. And you guys did really good for that. For a team like that, you did really good. You guys should be proud of yourselves. You beat Kawhi's Clippers, and then you beat the who the hell did you beat there? Oh, you beat the number 1 seed. You beat the Thunder. That was cool. And then you beat the Timberwolves, who were like really hot and favored against you. They beat the Nuggets. So that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. You guys made it this far. But Luka's, he's a great offensive player, but like I've said for me, he's fat, man. You cannot win it. You can't win an NBA championship with a big fat guy. Not unless he plays center. Not unless he's like Shaq. If you're Shaq maybe, or Jokic, something like that, and you're 7 foot tall, and you can pass and do all that cool shit, that's cool. But he's a guard. He's a 6'6" fat guard. So that's a problem because, you got someone like Jaylen Brown guarding you. You're gonna, not much you can do about that. He's an all-star. So Jaylen Brown is gonna win the MVP trophy tonight. It's gonna be great. So that's cool. That just shows you how people, Tatum's not, it should be Tatum. No, that's the beauty of this team. It's not about the personal accolades. It's going to be great. But anyway, enough sport ball there. Tomorrow night on the live show, Mark Betterow is going to come on me. Attorney Mark Betterow. So hot right now. Everybody's talking about Mark Betterow. He's like the must-have on the shows. Everybody's going to have him on there lately. And I'm honored to have him on. I really love his legal analysis. And he's in the courtroom today. So he witnessed all the shenanigans that we saw, right? He witnessed the whole thing with the jurors. And I'm really interested to hear his firsthand point of view of what that was like, etc. So that's going to be really cool. All right. anyway, so yeah, he's going to be coming on here and talking about us with that. And I cannot wait to hear what he has to say, and because I have a lot of feelings about Joseph Paul. I thought this latest Dr. Trooper, I mean, this clown show of an operation that is the Norfolk County DA's office and the state police, do any of them have any shame or embarrassment? That's my question. Do any of them care, like, at all about their reputations and how they're going to look coming out of this? Because Joseph Paul just made a fool of himself today. Like, he got up there and he attempted to, now he's a medical examiner. He's a cop and a medical examiner. He's a crash reconstruction expert because he took some online classes, 200 hours of it, I think he said. And now he's an expert. He's not a doctor, but he's close enough. And he said that in his expert opinion, that the, the things on his arm, like he had all those cuts on his arm, those aren't, the dog bites, those aren't dog bites, guys. They came from polycarbonate taillight. So I think the big loser today was Plevin. I think we can all agree on that, because Plevin did that whole SimCity thing, right? He did that whole SimCity recreation of John getting hit. He figured it out. Remember, John dropped the cocktail glass, and then he bent over to pick it up, and then his head hit the taillight. So that explains the gash in his head and the broken taillight. Except now the state police are saying, Plevin, that's not actually how it happened. He was standing up. He just stood there. You got that? He stood there in the middle of a blizzard, in the corner of the yard for some reason. He just stood there. Nobody saw this, by the way. Nobody saw it. Nobody heard it. He stood there and he just waited to get run over by Karen Reed. And the arm shit came from, like, he stood there and then the car ran into him, and in the taillight got his arm, and then it somehow cut like gashes, parallel gashes up and down his arm. Polycarbonate taillight does that, don't you know? So says Detective Dr. PhD Joseph Paul from the Massachusetts State Police. So says he. So he says that that's how those scratches got there. That's new. And what about, so how do you explain the gash in the back of the head, right? Because Plevin's like, bro, no, the broken taillight came from the back of the head. No, the taillight did that. No, Dr. Paul's got it all figured out. You see, what happened was they hit John, and then his body ricocheted, and he did a triple Lutz. I'm not making this up. He spun, like Christy Yamaguchi. He spun, and then landed somehow, even though, like, that would knock him, like, the road curves there, so it would knock him onto the lawn, right? Because they found him 10 feet on the lawn. Not so fast. Before he ends up on the lawn, he does the triple Lutz, and then he lands, and his head cracks against the curb there. Okay, you got that? The curb. His head cracks against the curb. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, how did he end up 10 feet on the lawn then if his head hit the curb? He probably just bounced like a basketball. This 220-pound man then bounced. His head hits the curb, and then he bounces on 10 feet away somehow and just lies there, okay? And there's no blood on any of the 45. They don't find any pieces of taillight there. The Canton police don't find any pieces of taillight. But then Michael Proctor finds them on 6 undocumented searches. And not one of those pieces of taillight has any traces of blood on it, even though it caused those deep gashes to John's arm somehow. No, we lost John's arm tissue DNA. We don't have that because that's gone. So we can't test that for animal bites or whatever. But, you know, they tested the shirt. They got a swab. They sent it in. It's from the shirt, though. He didn't wipe his ass with it or anything like that. So the taillight somehow has no blood on it. There's no blood, like, by the curb. They don't find anything, no blood around there. He bleeds out. He's lost a shitload of blood, right? It ends up on his pants somehow. Well, 3 people's blood end up on John's pants because there's 2 other unidentified DNA on John's blood, on the blood on John's pants. We don't know who that is. It's not 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 or Proctor because they submitted DNA. So we can rule them out. They weren't the ones who beat up John, which is great because they weren't there to begin with during the actual beating. So that didn't happen. But, they could ask, Colin Albert, Brian Higgins, one of those guys, perhaps, for a DNA sample. But that would be treating them like suspects. And we don't want to do that. Is the homeowner in trouble? Nope. He's Boston police. Nope. He's not going to get jammed up. We're not going to bother him. Why aren't you going to bother him? Because he's Boston police. That's why. Like, he made it very clear that we are going to treat him differently. He has nothing to worry about, not because he's innocent, but because he's Boston police. So this is new to me. Polycarbonate taillight is like razor sharp now. It just cuts you up like that and somehow causes parallel gashes on your fucking arms. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is a joke. Like, that guy got up there, and Alan Jackson, I've never seen him so pissed. He will fuck you up. He will fuck you up on Monday, Joseph Paul. I hope you know that. He will fuck you up. Bitch, pull up, bitch. The bang bang. He's going to fuck him up. Not physically, Joseph Paul. He means you no harm. Rhetorically, however, figuratively, he's going to fuck you up. I will fuck you up. Not me. Alan Jackson's going to fuck you up on Monday. Just know that. So have a nice weekend, Joseph Paul, because not only did you just embarrass yourself and humiliate yourself, nobody knew who you were before any of this. No one was talking about you and all this. And you had to jump in. You had to jump in with your stupidness. And you had to embarrass yourself. You could have been an honest cop and said, you know what? My job is to test the brakes. The brakes work fine. That's what I did. I don't know about any of this other shit. I don't know about I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical examiner. I don't know what the hell caused that. All I know is the brakes worked. That was literally all you had to do, is just say the brakes worked, right? The brakes worked. And then your job was done. But no, you had to go the extra mile and cover for your boy. These cops are sick, man. Their natural instinct is to just say any attack on somebody like Michael Proctor, right? Any criticism of him, we have to protect him. We have to back him up. Like, it's sick. It's fucking sick, this line of work, these people. It's exclusively the state police. Like, they're natural, because Nicholas Barrows from the Dayton police, he didn't have this natural tendency to make some shit up to protect them. No! It's these townies. It's Katie McLaughlin making shit up, lying under oath. These Canton people, man, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Horrible. But they're going to get theirs. They might, I don't know how this ends. But it doesn't end with a Kara Reed conviction. It ends with an acquittal. And it's coming. It's coming soon. Because they're running out of witnesses. And that means the defense gets to go. And the defense is just going to call the big guns. They don't need to waste their time on everyone. They're going to call their most important witnesses. They're going to get them in here. Lucky Loughran, the accident reconstructionists, the PhDs, and they're going to get in there, and they're going to, point out that John, they're going to the actual reconstructionists, not Joseph Paul, are going to get in there, and they're going to be like, this shit makes no sense whatsoever. That he could not possibly, those marks could not have come from being hit by a car, because they do this for a living. Unlike Joseph Paul, who writes tickets on the weekends and suddenly, took an online class and now he's an expert in this shit. Oh, what a joke. What an absolute embarrassment. I feel so bad for that man's family that they had to look at that. Like, that's my brother, dad, whatever. Like, that guy. That guy represents my family, my brand. Oh, how humiliating. If that was one of my siblings, oh my God, I would just bow my head in shame. Like, oh my God, I don't know him. He's adopted. Oh God. We picked him up at the Foster Academy or something. We got him. We felt bad for him. They're going to put him down if we didn't adopt him. Yikes. How humiliating. How humiliating. Yikes. So anyway, I'm looking forward to tomorrow to talking about all of this with Mark Betterow. We still haven't gotten into Wednesday's testimony with Michael Proctor. We talked about yesterday, and we talked about last night on the show with Brian Tully his bullshit and my bullshit. I want to talk to 𝗵𝗏 about my search warrants and compare it to, because this guy said, oh, we can't get a search warrant. You know, bro, you got a search warrant to search my house, my car, and my phones, and my computers, all of them. Based on what? Clearly, probable cause is a joke to you, and you'll just apply for it and get it. And, oh, yeah, by the way, I guess I can announce this now. They convened a grand jury to try to indict me and Karen Reed on, 𝗏𝗏 tried to indict Karen Reed, and he tried to indict me too on an extra charge in late March. They convened a grand jury to investigate whether or not her and I conspired to commit witness intimidation. And this is in March. And it must have failed, because usually, like when they did the grand jury in December, I was indicted like the next day. Like the grand jury just votes to, it's been 3 months. It's safe to assume that her and I are not getting indicted for conspiracy to commit witness intimidation. And by the way, I thought he was sick. He was so sick he couldn't do anything, get anything done. But he is willing to just do, with more charges? Yeah, fuck yeah. More charges? Let's get him in here. This is 2 weeks after he tried and failed to send me back to jail during a dangerousness hearing. All of them. All of them. We did nothing. Karen Reed and I have done nothing wrong. We certainly didn't conspire to commit witness intimidation. Nonsense. I've not committed witness intimidation. Karen Reed has not urged me to commit witness intimidation. Karen Reed does not control me. Never has, never will. Karen Reed has given me, tips, right? Hot takes, right? So she's a source. She's a source. If Karen Reed wants to give me information, she can. And I can publish it if it's factual, period. That's not illegal in the United States of America. You're allowed to talk, reporters or anyone is allowed to talk to Karen Reed. And she is allowed to give them factual information, and they are allowed to amplify it if they so choose to and if they believe it, period. That is not witness intimidation. And apparently a grand jury agrees, because it's extremely easy to indict anyone in this. They say that, you can indict a ham sandwich, right? Well, not 𝗏𝗏. 𝗏𝗏 couldn't indict shit. 𝗏𝗏 is a ham sandwich. So anyway, go Turtleboy, go Karen Reed, go Celtics, winning a championship tonight. And then in a couple more weeks, Karen Reed is officially going to be freed. And then Turtleboy's going to be freed after that. And we're all going to have a great time. It's going to be awesome. So we'll see you guys on tomorrow night at 9 o'clock with Mark Betterell and talk then. Peace, Turtle Riders.